Working in the darkness. It seemed as if I strained to leave a message by pressing tiny keys in heavy mittens. I thought I spoke very clearly, given that I was so far beneath the surface. On my knees, I felt my way with heavily wrapped hands, all alone. I tried to read, but there was too much darkness before the tiny print. I heard many of the finer details crumbling beneath my clumsy feet. I had to remove all my tools just to squeeze on through the smallest openings. I thought they spoke to me as I crawled by, but they were simply saying grace. I was condemned to groping with zippers, flaps, and buttons with thick gloves in darkness. Always sat down to eat, only to realize there were no forks or knives. Kept on finding myself driving far faster backwards than I ever would have considered. Could not free the strap, but it was too dangerous to remove my mittens. Groped my way through a black labyrinth that was but a child's cluttered bedroom. Followed my trail in a circle, cleaning up what flaked off my muddy boots. Working through the noisy rooms, I could not quite grasp their radio transmissions. Craved to rip my mask away, but knew the atmosphere was deadly poison. I handed up my shovel when the hole was dug, and then they told me to lay down. Working in that smoky darkness, overheated and running low on air, we repeatedly shouted simple things to each other through our coverings and the din. Though I rose quickly for the surface, I was not sure if I could hold my breath that long. The protective lens was fogged, but with the smoke, it did not matter. I was wearing and carrying far too much to even do the little work assigned to me. Hardly able to keep up, much more of a burden than any help at all. Feeling the entire sandy hill slide underneath me towards an unseen cliff. Forced to accidentally break many useful objects just to find the door. I concentrated my efforts on overloaded, groping like a blind and half-dead mole. I solved the puzzle with perfect logic, never knowing my solution began incorrectly. Came to an ambivalent fork that was not on the map far too long ago to turn back now. Working in the darkness, everything I had taken for granted rose up to claim my attention. As I moved, different parts of my body each locked into position like a finished puzzle. With every sweating, overheated, gasping breath, I longed merely to kneel and rest, moving through this poisonous darkness with all our senses protected, yet cut off. Far-off voices called after me, and I simply could not bring myself to ignore them. From somewhere within me came the feel of that cool Canadian air from my boyhood. I lay there thinking that I heard that church bell tolling, long and gentle, once again. I dreamed I was mummied up in bandages and blankets and rolling down a bumpy road. But sometimes the darkness did not frighten me because I had no more light within.